what feels good for you. And this is 45 minutes, so different from last night and last week. So a little bit longer, yeah, which is good. So let's start actually lying down on our backs. And when you get there, you can squeeze your knees into your chest, giving yourself a little hug. Rocking from side to side. Good. And then we're just going to start with a gentle twist. Nothing too deep here. So bring your arms out to a T with your palms facing up. And bring both knees over to your right, just for a little gentle twist here. Your left shoulder can come off the mat. Good, and then carefully bring your knees back up through the center, and then over to your left. Your right shoulder can come off the mat. We're just warming ourselves up here. Good, bring both knees back through the center again. Grab behind your thighs, and we're gonna kind of rock and roll ourselves up. You can take a few rocks and a few rolls. And then we're gonna come all the way forward into child's pose. So you might need to scoot back onto your mat. Bring your big toes together, knees out wide. And then start to crawl your hands forward here. Let your forehead rest on your mat. Good, letting yourself mentally and physically arrive. Try to make this child's pose a little more active. Crawl your fingertips forwards. Maybe your elbows lift off the mat. Finding all this length in your spine, keeping your hips back towards your heels. Good, and just know that this pose is always available. If you need a rest or you're just feeling tired or you don't want to do something, you're always welcome to come back here. Take one more breath here. And then as you inhale, start to rise up to your hands and knees for table pose. In your table pose, check that your knees are right underneath your hips and your wrists right underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers out wide and push through your whole hand. Then as you exhale, start to round your spine, tuck your chin, push the floor away, cat pose. And then inhale, arching your back, lifting your heart, maybe look up, cow pose. Good, exhale to round, really push the floor away from you. Look towards your belly button or your knees. And then inhale, arching. Good, we're gonna use this time to really connect to our breath here. So as you exhale, start to round again. And then inhale, arching back into cow pose. Good, start to take a few rounds on by yourself here. So using your breath. Your exhales to round, and then your inhales to arch. Good, if it feels okay, you can close your eyes. That might help you connect a little more deeply inside, just to feel what's going on today. Good, take 3 more rounds here. Hi, Erin, welcome. Good, and after your third round, let's meet in a neutral table, so just a nice long spine, and step your right toes back, keeping your toes on your mat, and reaching your left arm forward, like you're gonna shake someone's hand. Beautiful. So right leg back, left arm forward, squeeze your low belly in and start to lift your right toes off the mat, our balancing table. Good, take a big breath in, get a little bit longer, and then exhale, round. We're gonna crunch your elbow into your knee. Good, inhale, lengthen out. And then exhale, elbow to knee. Shaking is good here. One more. Exhale, straighten everything out. And then inhale, back together, elbow to knee. Good. Inhale, stretch back out. Lower your hand and your knee back down to table. Good. And then we'll switch sides. So stretch your left toes back. Keep them on the mat to start. And then reach your right arm forward, like you're gonna shake someone's hand, so your thumb up and your pinky down. Good, squeeze your low belly in and lift your left toes off the mat. Balancing table. Take a big breath in, get a little longer, and then exhale, round. Try and crunch your elbow to your knee. They don't have to touch. Inhale, lengthen back out. Good, two more, just like that. Exhale, bring it together. One more, breathe in. And exhale, together. Inhale, stretch everything back out. And lower your hands and knees back down. Good, from our table here, walk your hands a handprint forward. Tuck your toes under and lift your knees and hips up and back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. In this first down dog, you're trying to get your hips to be your highest point. So you can bend your knees a little if your hamstrings feel tight. And then start to pedal through your legs. So bending one knee, straightening the other. If you want to wiggle in your hips from side to side, that might feel nice. Just seeing what's going on today. And then find some stillness in your down dog. Check that your hands are shoulder width apart and your feet hips width apart. And you're like a big upside down V here. Take one more breath, and at the bottom of your exhale, you can walk or step to the top of your mat for a forward fold. Good. When you get there, we're gonna inhale and halfway lift. So a nice long spine. We're trying to get rid of the rounding in your upper back. So if you're feeling really rounded like this, bend your knees a little and stick your booty back and lengthen your shoulders and your heart forward. Beautiful. Exhale, fold it down. Two more, just like that. Inhale, halfway lift, making all this space in your spine. Exhale, fold. Good, one more. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, fold. Good, this time as you fold, you can keep your feet together or you can wiggle walk your feet about maybe the width of your mat. We're just gonna take a rag doll. So grabbing opposite elbows, letting your head hang. You can keep a pretty generous bend in your knees. I think that feels really nice on your low back. And then just swaying side to side. Good. If you have your elbows, gently let them go. And then heel toe your feet either hips distance apart or big toes touching, the little space between your heels. And then we're going to slowly roll yourself all the way up to standing. So one vertebrae at a time. Your head will be last. When you get up there, give your shoulders a big roll. Beautiful. We're going to do a few sun salutations to warm ourselves up here. So as you inhale, lift your arms, maybe lift your gaze. And then exhale, swan dive forward, forward fold. Arms go wide, beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to your shins. Exhale, we're gonna plant your hands, step back to high plank. Good, so high plank is our upper push-up position. You can always come down onto your knees. We're gonna hold here to build a little bit of heat. So imagine in this high plank, you could squeeze your thumbs together. You might feel some different muscles turn on there in your chest. And then we're gonna slowly lower ourselves all the way down to your belly. Good, when you get there, your hand should be right by your low ribs. And we're gonna inhale for cobra. So push into your feet, lift your head, your shoulders, just a gentle back bend. Exhale, lower it down. Good, tuck your toes under. Your knees can stay up or down here. We're gonna push ourselves back up. High plank to downward facing dog. Beautiful, your hips are high. I like to think in down dog like I could rip my mat apart. So my hands are pushing down and forward and my feet are pushing down and backwards. Good, take 3 deep breaths here. And at the bottom of your exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it back down. Good, inhale, push into your feet, open your arms wide, rise all the way to standing. Arms overhead. And then exhale, arms by your side, Tadasana. Good, we'll do 2 more of those, moving a little bit faster. Just think of this as like a moving meditation, trying to connect your breath to your movements. And if I'm too slow or too fast, just go at your own pace. So as you inhale, lift your hands, maybe look up. Exhale, forward fold. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to high plank. We won't hold this one as long, so slowly lower yourself all the way to your belly. And inhale for your gentle cobra, push into your hands, a little back bend. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes and push yourself back up. High plank to downward facing dog. When you get back to down dog, 3 deep breaths again. At the bottom of your exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top. Good, inhale, your heart lengthens, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, push into your feet, open your arms wide, rise all the way to standing, lift your arms high, and exhale, arms by your side. Good, 1 more, just like that. Inhale, lift your hands, maybe look up. Exhale, swan dive forward to our forward fold. Inhale, lift your heart, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to high plank. Right away, coming down to our belly. Good, you can either stick with cobra here if you like, or you can try on up dog, where everything lifts off the mat except your tops of your feet and your hands. So choose a back bend that feels good for you. And then we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Good. From our down dog here, walk your feet just a few inches forward and bring your big toes together. And then reach your right leg high and then open up your right hip. You can bend your right knee, roll your right ankle around. Awesome. Then start to straighten your right leg. Square your right hip down to the mat. And then step your right leg in between your hands. And you can help it up there. You can wiggle walk it or use your hand to help it up there. Good. You're going to spin your left heel down. And then start to walk your hands to the left corner of your mat or maybe off of your mat for this version of humble warrior. So it's like down dog in our arms and warrior two in our legs. So your right knee keeps opening to the right. And then you have a nice long spine. Let your head hang. Good, then start to crawl your hands back around your right foot. And then lift your left heel off the mat. You're gonna keep your left hand planted and twist your right arm up to the sky. Beautiful, really engage your whole right arm. Spread your right fingers wide. Good, plant your right hand. We'll step back. And from here on out, you can either skip these chaturangas and just go right to downward facing dog, or if you'd like, you can lower down either halfway or to your belly. And then inhale for your back bend. You can pick cobra or up dog. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog. Beautiful. Come back to your breath if you lost it. Sometimes when we're moving or holding a pose, we forget to breathe. So down dog's a good place to check in for that. And as you inhale, reach your left leg high. You can open your left hip, bend your left knee, roll your ankle around. And start to straighten your left leg. Square your left hip down. And then step your left foot in between your hands. Beautiful. Help it out there if it needs some help. Spin your right heel down. And then start to crawl your fingers towards the right corner of your room, maybe off of your mat for this humble warrior. Like down dog arms and warrior two legs. Keeping your left knee moving out to the left. Remembering to breathe. Then start to walk your hands back in around your left foot. Spin your right heel off of your mat. You're going to keep your right hand planted and then twist your left arm to the sky. Really engage your whole left arm. Open your fingers wide. Imagine you could touch your ceiling. Plant your left hand down. We'll step back to high plank. And then your version, your journey to down dog. So any way you want to get there. Choose what is feeling good for you. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. Good. From our down dog, we're going to start to walk our hands to the back of our mat. So back towards your feet. Good. When you get there, take your feet as wide as your mat with your toes turned out slightly and your heels turned in. I'm going to face you guys this way so you can see. And then we're going to sit down for a squat malasana. So this pose can be kind of tough on knees. You can be up here if that feels better. Or if you have like a block at home or maybe some books, you could stack them underneath you and you can take a seat on them. But wherever your pose is, let's find some length in your spine. So try to lift the crown of your head higher to lengthen your spine. And you can use your elbows to kind of push your knees apart. Then come back to your breath. Good, then let your hands come down. You can wiggle walk your feet back together. And then just crawl forward back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. At the bottom of your next exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top of your mat. Good. Inhale, our halfway lift. Exhale, fold. This time we're going to sit our hips back, bend your knees, and inhale for chair pose. Good. So in our chair pose, your arms can be up. They can be straight out from your shoulders or even at heart center. So find a place that feels good for you. And then look down and see if you can see your big toes. If not, scoot your knees back a little. Good, and then try and sink a little deeper. We're just gonna move and breathe here. So inhale, and then exhale, half chair. I imagine I'm skiing, so bring your arms behind you like you're skiing down the mountain. Keep your knees bent. Good, then inhale, chair. Exhale, half chair. So your torso comes down, your pinkies go back and up. Good, one more, just like that. Inhale. And exhale. Good, this time as you inhale, rise up to stand. Give your legs a break. Cactus your elbows, lift your heart wide. Good, inhale your arms back up. And exhale, swan dive forward. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to down, or high plank, excuse me. And then your journey to down dog. You can lower halfway down or belly. Inhale for your back bend, cobra or up dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Good, take a big breath in through your nose. And then exhale, just sigh it out. You guys are on mute, so no one can hear each other, so let it go. Try one more like that. Big breath in. Exhale, let it out your mouth. Good. As you inhale, reach your right leg high. Exhale, step it between your hands. Ground your heel again like before. And then inhale, rise, warrior two. I'm gonna turn around so you guys can see me. Good, so in our warrior two, we have a nice long stance. Don't be afraid to take up some space on your mat. Your right toes are facing forward, your left toes are just turned in slightly. And then maybe bend a little bit deeper into your right knee. Gazing out over your front fingertips. Good, flip your right palm forward, inhale. And exhale, reverse warrior, reaching up and back, your legs stay the same. Good, then start to straighten your right leg. And then inhale, bring your upper body back upright. Then we're gonna start to bump your hips back, 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 reaching forward. And then lower your right hand down to your shin or your thigh and reach your left arm high to the sky for triangle pose. Good, so triangle is not how low we go. We're trying to find equal length on both sides of our waist. So see if you can find that length. Reaching your left hand high, rolling your heart open a little bit. It's almost like a little back bend. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, you can reach your left hand alongside your ear for this extended triangle. Good, push into your feet, rise back up. Good, turn all of your toes to face the side of your mat, and then almost pigeon toe them a little bit. So your toes are turned in slightly and your heels out. Good. As you inhale, bring your hands to your hips, take a big breath in, puff up your chest, roll your shoulders back, and then exhale, fold it forward, our prasarita. As you fold, you can let your hands come down to the floor or your mat. These look awesome. You can keep a little baby bend in your knees if your hamstrings feel tight. Try to let your head be heavy here. And then see if you can just tilt a little bit more weight into your toes or to the front of your feet. This can be a really small movement, but it might bring out a lot of sensation as you do it. So just kind of play around with that, sending your weight forward. And then as you inhale, start to crawl your hands kind of underneath your face and almost like a halfway lift. You're going to lengthen out your spine. Good. And then start to crawl towards your right toes. You're going to lift your left heel. We'll step back to high plank. And then meeting in down dog. So if you would like to flow through your chaturanga here, you're welcome. If you're feeling tired, just skip it. Meeting back in our downward facing dog here. Hips are high. Maybe noticing any space that you've been making in your legs, especially your hamstrings after that big fold. And then as you inhale, reach your left leg high. And exhale, step it between your hands. Ground your right heel down. And then inhale, rise, warrior two. Good, so once you get up, you can kind of see what's going on. If you need to spread your feet a little further apart or change how your feet are positioned, feel free to do that. So your left toes are facing straight forward, your right toes are just turned in slightly. And then bend into your left knee, gaze over your left fingertips. Maybe sink a little deeper. Good, as you inhale, flip your left palm up and exhale, reverse warrior, leaning up and back. Good, start to straighten your left leg. We'll give it a little break. And then inhale, bring your upper body back upright. Start to bump your hips back, 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 reaching your left arm forward. When you can't reach anymore, lower your left hand down, your right hand to the sky for triangle pose. These look really nice. See if you can roll your heart open a little bit more. Just like that twist before, engage your top hand, your right hand, spread your fingers wide. Good, your right hand can stay where it is, or it can reach up and alongside your ear. Good, so strong, push into your feet, rise, back up. Good, one more time, turn all your toes to face the side of your mat. That same stance that we were in before, so a little bit pigeon-toed. And then clasp your hands behind your low back and then interlace. You can either use a towel if that's not accessible. And as you inhale, puff up your chest again. Exhale, fold it forward with your interlace. So your hands will come up and over your head or in that direction. And if this is too much, you can always lower your hands down at any time. Good, again, play with where your weight is in your feet. Instead of it being back in your heels, try to push a little bit forward into your toes. This could be a really small movement again. Slowly let go of your interlace and bring your hands under your face again and inhale, halfway lift. And we're gonna take an inner thigh stretch here. So start to bend into your right knee, and then your left toes can come off of the mat, and so can your right heel. Some of you might be able to keep it down, but I cannot. So hopefully feeling a lot of sensation in your left inner thigh here. Keep your left toes really flexed towards your face, so nice and active. And then there's a lot of different things we can do with our arms here. You can keep them on the mat. You can try balancing with your hands in prayer, or maybe a little twist where you plant your right hand and open your left arm to the sky. So you can try one of them on, you can try all of them on. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Good. Plant your hands down wherever they are, and then start to lift your hips back up. And then we'll crawl towards your left foot, bend into your left knee. Your right toes come off of the mat. And your right toes are flexed towards you for this nice inner thigh stretch for our right leg. Good. Again, playing with your arms here. You can keep them on the mat, balancing in heart center, or that twist. See what feels good. Play around with it. You can always change your mind. Good. Wherever your hands are, start to lower them down to the mat. Lift your hips high. We're going to crawl back around to your right leg. And then we'll step back to high plank. And then you can choose lowering yourself down for your chaturanga or downward facing dog. We will meet there in our down dog. Awesome. At the bottom of your next exhale, you can walk, step, or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it back down. Inhale, push into your feet, rise up to standing, arms go high. And then exhale, arms by your side. We're going to come into a little balancing here. So let's start standing on your left leg. So start to pour the weight into your left leg. And we're going to come into tree. So your tree pose can be your right toes just resting on the mat like so. You can bring your foot to your calf, or you can help your foot all the way up to your inner thigh. Just avoid putting pressure right on your knee. Find something on the ground to gaze at, your drishti. And then your hands can come to either heart center, or you can lift them high. Just like we have so many different trees, there's a lot of different expressions of this pose. See if you can push your foot into your standing leg and your standing leg right back into your foot. Good. If you fall out, it's no big deal. Just come back to it. Good. Then we're going to start to turn your right knee forward. And we're going to start to kick it back as you lean forward. And we're going to take a big step back into this high crescent lunge from the turn so you can see. Good. And you can wiggle walk your foot back there once you get there. Good. When you arrive, reach your hands up high for high crescent lunge. So your right toes are lifted off of the mat. Your right heel, excuse me, not your toes. See if you can sink a little bit deeper into your left knee. Lift your arms high. Good. As you exhale, bring your hands back through prayer. Good. Take a big breath in. And then exhale, we're going to twist your right elbow outside of your left knee, keeping your hands in prayer. And this can be a lot to balance, so you can lower your right knee down. Good. See if you can breathe into your belly, into all those squished up places. Good. Carefully unwind yourself, and you're going to bring both hands to the inside of your left leg. You can walk your left leg out to the edge of your mat for lizard pose. So start to lower your right knee down. Good. And then in our lizard pose, you can stay on your hands here, or you can start to crawl down onto your forearms. Breathing into your hips here. You can play with rolling to the pinky toe side of your left foot and kind of letting your left knee open a little bit more if that feels good. Good. If you're on your forearms, start to make your way back up to your hands. Tuck your back toes under. We're going to step just right back to downward facing dog. Hips are nice and high. Good. At the bottom of your exhale, travel to the top of your mat, walk, step, or hop. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way to standing. And exhale, arms by your side. Good. Balancing again one more time. This time we'll start to pour our weight into your right leg, your right foot. Your left toes can be a little kickstand here for you. Can come to your calf or all the way up to your inner thigh. And then when your legs feel stable, you can bring your hands to heart center, where you can grow your branches nice and tall. Finding something on the floor to stare at will help you kind of focus your attention and help your balance. If you fall out, no big deal, just try again. See if you can use your standing leg, push it into your foot and your foot right back into that standing leg. And then carefully start to turn your left knee forward. And we're going to take that big step back again. So start to lean your upper body forward, reach back into our high crescent lunge here. And you can adjust your feet as you need to find your balance. Inhale, lift your fingertips to the ceiling. Good, your left heel is lifted off the mat. See if you can sink a little bit deeper. Bring your hands through heart center as you take a big breath in. And then exhale, twist your left elbow outside of your right knee. You can always lower your left knee down. Balancing is a little tricky. Good, breathe into your belly here. Breathe into the twist, bringing out our spine. Good, carefully unwind yourself and bring both hands inside of your right leg. And you can kind of heel toe your right foot out to the edge of your mat for lizard here. So lower your back knee down if it's not down already. You can stay on your hands or crawl down to your forearms. Breathing into your hips here. Good. If you're on your forearms, make your way back up to your hands. Tuck your back toes under. We're gonna step back to downward facing dog. Our last one here. Noticing any changes from your first one. Maybe you're feeling a little bit stronger. Maybe you've made some more space in your shoulders or your hamstrings. And then gently lower your knees down to your mat and just swing them around. We're going to take a seat. And we're going to set up for Baddha Konasana. So the soles of your feet together and your knees out wide. Good. You inhale, start to lengthen your spine, lift your crown high. And then exhale, fold it forward any amount that feels good. Don't take too much here. Listen to your body. And then as you inhale, start to bring your upper body back up, spine upright. Good, and stretch your left leg long to start and your right leg in, just like in tree pose when we were standing up. Good, so check that you're on your sitting bones here. And then as you inhale, reach your arms high, and then exhale, start to fold over your left leg. Good, you can grab onto your calf, your ankle, your foot, whatever is accessible. Really keep your left toes flexed towards you so your left leg is nice and engaged. And then inhale, start to rise back up. We're going to keep our left leg out. Just send it out to like a 45-degree angle here. That looks good. And then plant your left hand down, kind of maybe by your left knee or your left calf. And then inhale, reach your right arm high. You're opening your heart. You're welcome to stay here, or you can turn this into a big side bend by reaching your right arm up and alongside your right ear. But we want to keep our heart open. So if you feel like you're starting to like collapse down and you're losing that open heart, just raise your hand back a little bit. Good. As you inhale, come back on up. And then we'll just switch our legs out. So right leg nice and long, left foot in like a tree pose. Good. Starting in with it straight out in front of us. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, fold it forward. Holding on to your calf, your ankle, your foot, whatever you can reach. Good. As you inhale, start to bring yourself back up. And then slide your right leg out onto that 45-degree angle here. Good. Plant your right hand by your right knee or inside your calf. And then inhale, reach your left arm high, opening your heart. Good. You can keep your left arm here or reach up and alongside your left ear for this nice side stretch. Keeping your heart open. Good. Inhale, come on back up. Then we're going to come all the way down to our back. So you might need to adjust yourself on your mat. And as I'm looking at my time, it is 4:45, but I'm going to do like 2 more poses and then we'll be done. So if you need to leave though, feel free to leave. I will not be offended. But if you want to stay, come on down all the way to your back. When you get there, give yourself a hug again. We're gonna end class just like we started. Good, so bring your arms out like a T and bring both knees over to your right, the spinal twist, just how we started. This time, try and see if you can keep your left shoulder on the mat or close to the mat. If it feels okay in your neck, you can look over your left shoulder. Good. Inhale, both knees back through the middle. And then exhale, bring them over to the left. Trying to keep your right shoulder down or somewhat close to the mat. Again, if it's okay in your neck, you can try looking over your right shoulder. Inhale, both knees back through the middle. If you want to take a happy baby pose, you can grab the outsides of your feet, rocking side to side. It might feel nice to straighten one leg and then the other. Good. If there's anything else you would like, please feel free to take it. If you are feeling content, Shavasana will be our last pose, our final resting pose. So you can start to let your legs go out long, take up some space, arms by your side, your palms facing up. If you're comfortable, letting yourself relax, closing your eyes. Letting your body soak up all of your hard work. Carefully start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll around your wrists and your ankles. If it feels good, you can take a full body stretch, reach up and over your head and all the way down through your toes. And then start to roll onto one side that's comfortable for you, pausing there. And then carefully making your way up to a comfortable seat. So thank you guys so much for joining me. It's been really fun getting to know some of you and seeing some old faces. I hope you can find some of your yoga to take off of your mat, whether that's some strength, some balance, some patience, whatever you need. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Namaste. And you guys can take yourself off of mute if you have questions or you want to talk or whatever. Thank you guys.